What if there were things to study beyond just the usual law of attraction? And what if those things could really help you align with your highest calling and highest abundance? Stay tuned. Hey, Scott Haug here, and in today's video, we're going to be covering some principles beyond the usual law of attraction, beyond the usual manifestation idea. When it comes to law of attraction, manifestation, we talk about and hear about all the time visualization. We talk about intentionality. We talk about doing our gratitude journals, affirmations, you name it, around those kinds of principles, or even personal development. You hear about thinking positive. If you want to get out of debt, don't say the word debt. Just think about financial freedom, right? And you're supposed to constantly have this monitor around what you're thinking. And if you're in an environment, oh my goodness, that's negative, right? It's supposed to say, well, if you're in that environment, it's negative, you're going to manifest negative things from here on out, right? It goes a lot deeper than that. And in today's video, I want to cover a couple of principles that I think will really blow you away, that allow you to go beyond just the usual law of attraction idea and start digging a lot more deep, because the depth that there is to study is here and it exists in this world. It's just not as talked about, okay? So one of those things I want to talk to you about, I actually talked about in a couple of videos ago on our YouTube channel here, is this idea about resistance. Most times in law of attraction teachings, if you have resistance coming into your life, a resistance example could be you being triggered. So for example, it could be in a personal relationship, a friendship, a family member, whatever. Seems like they're doing stuff and it's triggering you, all right, but it feels like to blame that other person, okay? Another thing could be a resistance of a chronic challenge coming into your life. So if you have a business, you have something in your personal life that's chronically recurring coming into your life. That example could be money. It could be like a lot of money comes into your bank account and then a lot of money goes out, right? It seems like the more money you make, the more money you spend. The more money you make, the less abundance you actually have access to, right? So this could be a recurring trend in your life. Or if you have a business or even a full-time job, you have a big month and then you have like a medium month and then maybe a low month and then medium month and high month. So it's a constant roller coaster. And again, these are chronic resistances coming into play. So it could be a recurring challenge, a recurring trigger. It could be a recurring feeling, very, very frustrated with progress in life, very, very frustrated with you're doing all the study, but you're not seeing the results. Right? You fill in the blank, a resistance coming into your life, okay? Most law of attraction teachers or manifestation style teachings will teach just affirm the opposite, right? It's like just write down the opposite, and as long as you don't want the $100,000 in debt anymore, just think the opposite. Write it down, affirm it out loud, visualize yourself with a full bank account, all those ideas, and this recurring resistance will fall out of play. That can work 100%. It can 100%. And I've used those principles so many times, especially when I was first becoming a student of this material. And I saw drastic changes 100% in many ways. But in many ways, I didn't. So what's the difference here? Why does it seem to work sometimes? And why doesn't it work other times? Right? And sometimes we talk about, especially on my channel here, the feeling is a secret just because you don't feel it. Right? But it goes beyond that, and that's what I've been mentoring my clients on and guiding them one-on-one individually about, is this idea of recurring resistance. The recurring resistance is also coming into play not just to affirm the opposite, not just to visualize the opposite. It's coming into your life as your soul's evolving aspect. So essentially this recurring resistance is giving you a sign, a signal, an awareness of where to go next in your identity work as an individual. So when you start to realize that and start to see it for what it is, this recurring resistance becomes a gift where you can evolve and move out of that into something very different. I call these energy loops. So what happens, let's do this example, a couple of them that I mentioned here. So let's talk about the money example. Everyone wants more money, right? It's the usual thing. And money is a great tool. So most people say, money isn't everything and all these phrases. Well, it's because they don't have any, and they have a bad relationship around money. That's why I say those things, right? Money is a fantastic thing. It's a very good thing. It's just going to magnify who you already are. You're a great person. It's going to magnify you becoming a very, very great person, right? Because you can spend money on the things that you really care about, giving back to causes, helping your family and friends, helping yourself, covering yourself so that you can not think about and worry about bills, but you can exceed your, or go out there and fulfill your potential serving others. Money's a very good thing, and you should have way more of it, a lot more of it. Anybody who says anything else is probably in a spot where they have very disempowering relationship around money, okay? Have a lot of money, have access. It's good, okay? Now I'm going a little kind of side note here, and let's get back to the main topic here. So, this money in, money out kind of idea, this recurring resistance, okay? What we want to understand is, what is my soul trying to evolve into and learn from this resistance? Because we live in a duality. You may have already heard stuff like this before, but let's kind of cover this fundamental. If there's a left, there's a right. If there's an up, there's a down. If there's a diagonal up here, there's a diagonal down here, right? There's a two sides to the same coin kind of idea, right? There's white, there's black. There's always going to be an opposite or contrast. So the things that we perceive as obstacles coming into my life are the exact opposite opportunity that we need to evolve our soul. See the difference there? So when people look at these recurring resistances, they usually hate them. They get so frustrated by them. And believe me, I'm always trying to work through some things for sure. It's not easy to look at everything in your life and saying, wow, what a gift it is to see this obstacle come into life. So I'm not saying it needs to be easy. But even if you just start finding the gift in the little things that are recurring obstacles, and instead of reacting to them, respond and internally start to look at, why is this recurring in my life? What is my soul trying to evolve into from this recurring resistance? What am I making it mean story-wise in my mind about this resistance? For example, a story may be, I'm just so bad about money, right? Because money comes in, money goes out. The story maybe, it's not reality, but I'm terrible at money. I'm never gonna have an abundance. I'm never gonna be able to pay off the house. I'm never gonna be able to go get my dream home, right? These are stories that are created from this resistance that's recurring. Not true though, right? These are stories. These aren't necessarily facts in reality. So you want to look at this resistance and you want to say, where do I need to evolve into? What identity, and identities have frequencies, what identity or archetype am I assuming or living that is creating much of this experience in my life, right? So one of those for money may be a helpless victim. And a lot of people will, when they hear that kind of stuff, they'll defend themselves and say, no way, I'm not a helpless victim. I'm not that person, right? They categorically deny that they may be that identity. But if you entertain it, they may be like, well, yeah, if I entertain the idea, and it doesn't say anything about who I am, it just says what I'm acting like, right? You may say, yeah, well, that's kind of the money scenario. I feel helpless. I feel like I can never get forward. I feel like I'm a victim to my family money problems and my family limiting beliefs and my environment and the poverty around me, right? So I'm very blamey. I'm constantly blaming my money problems on all the other things out there. Helpless victim, right? So when you look at it deeper, you see this identity. I'm fused with that identity. No wonder why I'm constantly having this recurring resistance come into play. So you may be, what am I called into? You may be called into the identity of a guide. You may be called into the identity of a creator. You may be called into blank, right? So for example, the creator role is one of responsibility, right? I'm a creator, therefore I'm responsible more rather than a helpless victim. Doesn't mean you create all of your reality. There's a whole another video we can go into about that, but it just means I take responsibility and I'm not blaming about the emotions coming up or the things coming up in my life. It's my problem that I got to deal with and figure out what to do better around, right? So some really amazing things can come from this, but it goes beyond law of attraction like we talked about initially in the video. It's not just about doing affirmations to affirm the opposite. It's not just about visualizing your full bank account, right? Those things work, and definitely still use those tools. We teach them as well. I'm not saying those are bad or not workable, but also you want a more full picture of how this law of attraction manifestation idea comes into play. And this is one of the major aspects that a lot of people don't teach about. It's a curious thing, why not? Because this has the depth of understanding why things are coming into your life. And affirmations are not going to be the only thing that's going to explain why you're doing that. Or constantly knowing, like overthinking everything and like, oh my God, I got to safeguard my entire life from anything negative and anything. No, that's not how you need to live life, for sure. So take this and run with it. Look at the resistances coming into your life, write those down, understand what identity am I fused with that are promoting these results. So you got to be honest. The more honest you are, the more transformation you're going to get. The more you defend yourself, and when people defend themselves, it's almost solely all about self-esteem and not wanting to hear something about themselves or not wanting to listen to another, right? So listen to yourself and understand yourself more. And you don't even have to share this with anybody else. Just share with yourself. If I'm being honest, am I that person? Am I that identity, right? What identity can you evolve into to help yourself promote a greater lifestyle, essentially opposing the old one? So again, helpless victim might be for creator, right? You might be changer. If you're a caregiver, it goes into guide, right? So these different interchangeable identities are kind of opposites of each other. And we don't want to go to extremes, but a more balanced identity, okay? And also these old identities come from your past traumas. Another video we can dive into as well, okay? So really here, take advantage of the identity work, understand yourself. What am I evolving into, right? And be able to change and tweak that. And you'll start to notice you act differently, you behave differently, you think differently, you feel differently. And of course, you're going to start manifesting differently based on the principles, all right? Now, we go really deep into more of this. I mean, I can make hours and hours and hours of footage just on this one topic. And we're going very deep one-on-one with our clients in these different energy loops and dissolving them. If you want help on this, you want to get some mentorship, or become one of our certified manifestation coaches that are teaching this kind of material, helping others with it, building a great business and thriving, go ahead in the link below and click the link to get more information about our program. You'll receive one-on-one mentorship from me directly that will help you dissolve a lot of these energy gaps and energy loops that you're going through and experiencing over and over, as well as, again, the certification. You can get certified. We help you build your business. We help you systemize everything as well. And if you want both, it's one program together. If you only want the mentorship, we'll talk about that. If you only want the certification, we'll talk about that. But essentially, everything is together, because once you start guiding others on this, you're going to really be helping yourself 10 times more as well. All right. So link in the description below if you haven't already. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click the bell icon to get notified. As you can tell, we go real deep here. And that's why I like to say what makes us so much different than others is we take a lot of complex stuff and we simplify it, but we go deep. And if you like that style, like you yearn for going deep and actually experiencing the results shift, then this is the channel you're going to want to be on for sure. So make sure you subscribe and throw a like on the video. As you throw a like on the video, it sends out to a lot more people. And together we can change the consciousness of this planet and help more and more people see this type of knowledge and experience it firsthand as they make their transformation. All right. Signing off here, allowing you to experience that exercise. If you have any questions in the comments below, make sure you go ahead and throw your questions in there. I do actually look at those comments as well as my team. So we're in there helping you out 100%. All right. Try it out. Let me know your results. I'll see you over in the next video real soon.